Okay, so this is how to combine two mandalas together, some different options for that, and also how to add an image into the corners so that it's not just blank. Um, okay, so I'm going to use my 16 section one that I just made as my background, and I'm going to use my 8 section one. So usually what I like to do is look at which image has the more interesting center. Um, and to me that's this one. So what I'm going to do is make this smaller and put it into the center of this one. I could combine them in some other ways. So if I had spaces on the outside, I could also put, say smaller ones in between around here. So maybe I'll show you how to do that too. Okay, so this has been flattened, so I have to select it. So I'm going to click one of my corners here, and it went almost all the way around, so I'm going to just press Shift or Add to Selection and make sure that I get all the way around that. You can also hit Select Similar. We'll make sure because it was just missing that little strip right there. So I selected the white, so I'm going to say Select Inverse. And then I am going to click and drag this over here. Okay, so there it is, and I want it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to put my transform controls on. I'm going to hold Shift. I'm going to shrink it down and move it over. So I want it to fit inside here. Don't worry if it starts to look a little like not good quality as you're shrinking it. Once you check it off, it like clears back up. So the other thing I want to do is make sure I use my arrow keys and get it well centered so that it doesn't look like it's off to one side or to the top or the bottom. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So I really like how the pink matches in with this and feeds off, although like the blue maybe stands out a little too much like for the edge. So I mean, if you wanted to, you could go to like hue saturation for that layer, and I could say I just want to change the blues though. You have to see whether it's blue or cyan that's gonna do it. So I could tweak it more pink, or I was thinking maybe more towards a green, or like that color. I can't decide if I like pink or I think I kind of like the pink. Okay. Saturation level. Maybe up that a little. And okay. So that's that in the center. Now, if I wanted to use this in some other places, or it wouldn't necessarily have to be this one, it could be maybe, you made another one. So I could duplicate this layer and I could move it, and I could, again, I'd have to shrink this quite a bit. Sound effects always help. So I could shrink that down and then take the transform controls off so I can see it better, and I could put that like right there. I can't decide which way, I guess right there. Okay. And then I would just duplicate that and put one on each section all the way around. You could play with some Photoshop shapes if you wanted to. So you could go to the custom shape tool, you could download a shape, you could put an image into the shape instead of it just being a solid color. So you could use the same concept of how you took the wedge piece and got the picture into the shape of the wedge. You could do basically the same thing with any shape that you chose, and put that into the image. So I don't know, I'll do something really quickly here that we could put there instead of the circle. That would fit in that space and look like something. So I'm thinking maybe, how about a star? So I could draw a star here. It's just going to be black, which is fine. And then I could, I'm going to rasterize this. It just makes it easier to work with as just a regular layer. So I could put this over here. Right, so I copied that over here. So I'd have to kind of decide like what part of this I want. I'm just going to deselect that for a second. Again, opacity is helpful in seeing what is there. So I could take like a piece of this, maybe like right there, magic wand it, select my background, move tool, drag back over, and then I would have that. So I would get rid of the black star, and I would put this here. So the thing I would have to do with this, one thing is I want to rotate it, because I want the, whoops, see that's what I mean, sometimes it deforms instead of rotating. I have the black point pointing upwards, okay? And then I could just duplicate that layer again and put it around. Although with this, because it's not, if I had stuck it right in the middle, it would have been fine. But because I did it on the edge, so then I'd have to rotate this so that the black tip is sticking up on each side. So that's something you can think about doing. Okay, so I'm going to show you next how to fill your corners.